What's good, Sixers Nation? NZ here, and today I will be making a 76ers jersey tier list. So the Sixers have existed for a really long time. Its history spanning 75 years, which is crazy to think about because, how do you only have 3 championships despite being around for so long? But, I digress. We're not here to talk about that, but we are here to talk about and discuss the long history of the 76ers. Pretty solid jerseys. If there's one thing they know how to do well, it's make really sleek uniforms for their players and fans, and that's what we're here to do. We're going to evaluate how good these jerseys are based on how willing I would be to wear them in public or in a game setting, as well as the memories I have associated with them, as well as its design and stuff. So let's just get right into it. It's for the Syracuse Nationals, and for those who don't know, the Sixers weren't always the Sixers as we know them today. They were the Syracuse Nationals starting in the inaugural 1949-1950 season. At the time, Philly actually had a team still. They were the Philadelphia Warriors, but they turned to the Golden State Warriors. Nationals turned to the 76ers. But this is not a history lesson. We're just going to take a look at this jersey. And this is the first time I've seen it. And in my opinion, it looks pretty good. I like how the yellow and white blend. It's pretty classic. And I guess also the shoulder straps as well around the border are pretty cool. It's orange and black. Just a pretty classic design. I definitely wear this out in public. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the number's a little too big for my liking, but I can kind of look past that when all the colors really do look pretty visually appealing. So I'll place this at, I'm going to go with the high C tier. All right, so now we got the second iteration of the Syracuse Nationals jerseys. And to be honest, they're kind of a massive downgrade from the last ones. Kind of looks like someone just splatted ketchup and mustard all over them. Looks like something that Ronald McDonald would wear.
Bruh.
I'm not really jiving with the colors. I mean, the font's decent, pretty classic looking. But other than that, it just kind of looks weird to me and sort of really outdated. I think a lot of these older jerseys, they really aged well. But these ones, I think they're, rather best left in the 50s. I don't think they're completely F tier. Maybe they are, yeah. All right, so we finally got to the actual Philadelphia 76ers jerseys. Fun fact, these ones actually introduced the circle of stars that we saw in some of the ones when we had Jimmy Butler. So these ones aren't really nothing to write home about. They're pretty bland, don't really have much personality. But I think, they're pretty classic. I know I said it about the other ones, but you could just kind of get that, vintage NBA feel from these jerseys. So I place them in C tier. They're not bad, but I guess these Nats ones, I think, then deserve a promotion. All right, so this next ranking is going to be a little controversial, but I'm all right that these Will Chamberlain jerseys, they're not going to go into F tier. I know they're scrapped after one season, and the number is a little too oversized. But I think they're pretty unique. I know they brought it back when AI played, and I think they look pretty cool, with these current Sixers in this era. Just for how different it was compared to the rest of these jerseys and all the other NBA jerseys. So I think they're just gonna go in C tier, probably the lowest end of C tier. And before we get to the next one, apologies if I miss any of these jerseys. I know there are probably a lot of alternate ones. For example, this one, they had a red one, and the Wilt one, I think those blue shorts and red jersey. I'm sorry if I missed those. I'm just ranking the ones that are on this list. But those ones would probably fall in the same ranking as those. But this Phila one is kind of the same one as the number 34 in C tier. Nothing really to write home about. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. So I think this deserves a C tier. I'd say this would also be a C tier. I'm not really bothered by this one. Don't really swing one way or the other. I mean, if it was there, if I had it in my closet, I guess I'd wear it if there was any other option. All right, so now we got a different font this time, pretty similar to the last two, but now we got a blue Villa font, and the number also joins that. I mean, I think they're fine too. A lot of these jerseys were kind of similar, but these ones are definitely, I think the blue definitely fits in more with the Sixers brand than these other ones. So I think they're definitely the top of that. I'd say they'd be the top of C tier. Oops. All right, now it seems like we're getting into the jerseys that were worn throughout the 70s, starting with this one that they actually brought back during the disgusting Al Horford year. So those bad memories sort of reek and sort of ruin the jersey for me in that aspect. But design-wise, I mean, they're pretty solid. They're definitely really got that 70s vibe. I think it's a little much compared to the following ones in terms of, like, you know, the pretty boisterous font. But I think it was a pretty solid idea. I'd say they're definitely better than the Nats ones, and they'd be going at the top of B tier. Next up, we have what will be the first A-tier jersey of the video. I think the blue, red, and white mix beautifully with each other. There's definitely a lot of variety with the colors, like the stars being red, the font being white, and just the sea of blue covering it all, separating all the different design elements. I think it does a good job of maintaining, you know, the traditional design of these 76ers jerseys while also bringing new ideas to the table. In particular, with the font, it does definitely have some spunk, but it doesn't really stick out like a sore thumb, and it gives it a lot more personality. But this uniform's brother, on the other hand, it's definitely a downgrade. Definitely a lot uglier and more bland. It looks like with this red font, it looks like it says Fixers, even though it's supposed to read Sixers. I don't know, that's just me. But definitely loses the character that the blue one had. So, but it's still decent, so I'll put it in B tier.
These next rankings are going to be really similar. I really like the design of these Dr. J threads, especially with that red border around the Sixers lettering. But it is still superior to the white version. Even though the white version's pretty decent, I'll put that above the last one's white version in B tier. Coming up next, we have these really sleek jerseys. They're really simple, yet pretty effective. Definitely a solid jersey all around. I'd put these two in A tier. White one, I think, slightly being better. These ones are pretty nice too. Definitely really clean. I like the white more. It's more just sort of a more crisp white. These are really solid. I like these ones. They'll go at the third spot in A tier. These cherry colored ones, they're a little saturated, just like the one in D tier, but I like the lettering more. And I'd still wear these outside, so I'll just put these at the bottom of B tier. Now, for these jerseys that were worn predominantly in the 1990s, I gotta say they were absolute home runs. I think they're so unique and awesome, especially this one right here. First S tier of the video. The red, the white, the blue, the comet with the Sixers logo swooping in. All of it is just beautiful. Definitely a crazy idea. I know a lot of fans don't like these ones. They look a little too boisterous, but I like them a lot. These white ones, definitely not as good as the red ones, but still at the tippy top of A tier. Coming up next, we have Allen Iverson's rookie year jerseys. In my opinion, these have got to be the most underrated Sixers uniforms. They have so much personality and are pretty sleek, really fire. Definitely an S tier for me. Definitely less ambitious than these last ones. One's the Comet, but they are really well-rounded. Both the red and the white one. I think the red one still stands out a bit more, but the white one's still going to get a solid spot in A tier. Now, I gotta admit, I've been waiting for these ones. These Allen Iverson jerseys that were worn from the rebrand in 1998 all the way throughout the 2000s decade. got to be the best jerseys the Sixers have ever made. They're so classy. They're so cool. I probably wouldn't wear them in the summertime because of the black and how it absorbs all the heat. But regardless, these jerseys are so awesome. I can't really say anything better. They have so much personality and make you think of Allen Iverson stepping over, Ty Lue in the 2001 NBA Finals. If there's one jersey that the Sixers need to bring back in this modern era, it has to be these ones. They're at the top of the list for me, for the retro jerseys to bring back, because they are just that awesome. I really like the comet. I like the star replacing the dot on the I too. Gives it so much spunk, and these jerseys are the best jerseys in Philadelphia 76ers history. So they actually brought back the Wilt Chamberlain ones from the 60s, think of the 2004 season, and they're better than its classic version, especially with the text being a little thinner than the last one. But now that I'm looking at them again, I can't really say that I'd wear them over these two ones. So we're going to do a quick swap. There we go. And these Syracuse Nationals jerseys were also worn during the 2000s as a retro throwback jersey. And I like them a lot. They're pretty cool. Definitely better than these Nats ones, but I think the top of B tier is a good place for them. So this next uniform has a pretty cool history to it, because it's the 2006 Barcelona alternate jersey, not the actual official second iteration of the AI jerseys, when they enlarged the Sixers logo with the comet and removed that red border. But I really like the red and yellow bars above the shoulder straps. It's a unique addition, but isn't annoying enough to make the jersey less visually appealing. I like it a lot. I think it's cool. I'll put it in the A tier. Top of A tier sounds good to me. All right, so now we got the Phila text combined with the 2000s logo, and it's definitely a little weird. Definitely less smooth than the other AI jerseys, but I mean, I'd still wear them. I think they're pretty neat. You never really see anyone talking about these ones. I think they would look better actually wearing them. They're not too obnoxious. So I'll put it at the bottom of B tier. The 60th anniversary jerseys that the team rocked, and it's classic, simple yet pretty cool to look at. I don't like it as much as these ones, because I like the bright red font. Makes it pop out more, especially with the number, the light blue. But I'll put it B tier, bottom of B tier.
Home stretch of the tier list. Now that I see the 2010s and 2020s jerseys are showing up, and I do got a lot of nostalgia for these ones, going back to the early 2010s. Sixers, tanking, trying to intentionally lose games. Tickets were dirt cheap, and those games were really fun to go to, and they were rocking these uniforms. They're kind of just a sliced bread of Sixers uniforms, sort of something. You look at them and kind of look like jerseys that they'd wear during practice, like practice pennies, which kind of makes sense because none of those players on the process would make the Delaware Bluecoats team today. But I mean, they're just sort of mid, like they just exist. Except for this one. I like this one a lot with the blue, red, white, and blue. It's grown on me throughout the years. And plus they never wore it either, barely wore it. So it is pretty rare. Second to B tier, actually. I like those ones better than these ones. You can see tier 2. And
Now these ones, they do get some points because of they remind me of TJ McConnell, the GOAT, and also Joel Embiid. I think Embiid did wear this for his first NBA game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was his first uniform to begin his NBA career. And I think they're cool throwbacks. I'd place them right next to the blue ones. So the next ranking, going to be the First City Edition uniforms. Now they were rocking these threads back when the team made the playoffs again for the first time in a couple of years, which is cool to see. So definitely get some points there. I mean, it's clean. It's clean. It started the cursive filler text that we see today with the red ones, the red coat jerseys. But I'll talk about those soon. In the meantime, these ones are solid. I think they're definitely in the upper echelon of Sixers jerseys. Third best of B tier for sure. Now these jerseys, the red coat ones, I gotta say they don't really have many good memories attached to them. In particular with the Kawhi Leonard shot on May 12th, 2019 that bounced the Sixers out of the second round, a tradition that is still going on today. That shot was hit on my birthday, and they're wearing these uniforms, and every time I look at them, it's just not a good feeling. The design itself isn't really that bad, but, I mean, it's just decent. I mean, it's not going to go in D tier, but I think just the top of C tier is fine. Coming up next, we have our next pair of A tier jerseys. Now, these are the modern jerseys that we're accustomed to seeing, and I really like them. One of the cleanest modern NBA jerseys, in my opinion. Totally not biased, but for real though, I like some of the aspects, especially the with the white one, slightly better than the blue one. You know, they maintain the stars and stripes on the side, as well as the the red and white running through the shoulder straps. Pretty neat. Now, these technically aren't the modern ones because they have the modern ones that began this season. They have the red text, not the red text, the red color. It's thicker now behind the filler text, but those are going A tier too. They're not totally similar, but not all that different either. And now we have the Circle of Stars uniforms that came out in the late 2010s. They're harkening back to the older uniforms that had the stars on the back of the jersey's number, but now the number and the stars themselves are on the front of the uniform. This white one, really crisp, super crisp white, just like the modern ones we have today. I definitely place it over those ones. But the gray color here is really out of left field, sort of random. It sort of just looks like something you'd wear at the gym, which, I mean, I'm not, there's no problem with that, but I think there are better options out there. I think the top of C tier fits well. So these last set of jerseys were worn throughout the 2020s, and, I mean, they're pretty decent. Starting off with this beautiful uniform, the Constitution one, worn in the 2020 season. I know it was the garbage Al Horford gear, Josh Richardson year, last year, Brett Brown. So the team didn't have much success in these uniforms, but they're just way too fire for those memories to impact my ranking. Other than the AI jerseys, these are the best Sixers uniforms. I know it's pretty small, but the Philadelphia text, as well as the cool number and the creamy threads, make for an awesome jersey. Then we got the remake of the 70s jersey with the 70 coming out of the big S. And I mean, they're not all too different than the classic one, just I guess more defined red and blue stripes around the shoulder straps. They're definitely better than the old ones, less obnoxious for sure. Top of B tier sounds good. For our fourth to last jersey, we have the 2021 City Edition uniform designed by none other than Ben Simmons himself. This jersey, whenever I look at it, it just symbolizes the absolute disappointment that was the 2020-2021 76ers season. When Ben passed up that dunk, he was wearing these ones, but City Edition uniforms are worn only in the years they were introduced, only for 1 year. These jerseys just remind me of how disappointing that season was and how horrific it was losing to the Hawks despite us being the better team. Ben Simmons ruining this franchise. Top of D tier, if that's where you're going. These earned jerseys, on the other hand, are pretty cool. To get a earned jersey, that's what they were called back then, you had to make the playoffs and then you get a special jersey, and this is the one the Sixers got during the 2021 season. They retained the cream coloring for the jersey, the red, white, and blue shoulder straps, and the stars, as well as the Liberty Bell. A pretty solid jersey all around. Yeah, I mean, nothing really to write home about it. Just a pretty clean uniform. Definitely at the upper echelon of B tier. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I initially saw these 2022 City Edition uniforms, I thought I was going to throw up. They just looked out of place to me. But obviously, since they're commemorating the Spectrum and its history, they've grown a lot on me throughout that season. I really like how the colors on the side represent all of Philly's teams. The Phillies, the Flyers, the Eagles, and the Sixers. And they also have the font that's reminiscent of the 70s one at the top of A tier. And at first, I didn't like these jerseys at all, but they definitely, I definitely changed my opinion on them over time. And I'd say that they're not necessarily S tier, but they have to be at the top of A tier. Lastly, we have the 2023 76ers City Edition uniforms. And really, what do you want me to say about these? It's just a white jersey with a red stripe and the City of Brotherly Love logo on it. When you compare this to this year's jersey, which was the one inspired by the Reading Terminal Market, that also had the City of Brotherly Love theme, but it also did a lot more inspiration, a lot more new ideas. And this jersey just doesn't really do it for me. It looks like something a Friendly's employee would wear. It just reminds me of that place. So, yeah, it's pretty forgettable design all around. It's not D tier worthy, but I think the bottom of C tier is the appropriate spot for it. This concludes my Philadelphia 76ers uniform tier list. I hope you guys stuck till the end. If there's any jerseys I missed, please let me know in the comments, as well as let me know your opinion about my rankings according to the list that I made. The Allen Iverson jerseys, the black sleek ones, definitely the best, S tier, while the McDonald's sponsored jerseys from the 50s are the bottom. Overall, the Sixers have really solid jerseys and had some pretty good threads through the years, and I really just hope they bring back these ones in the near future. Peace.